Miss Kenya Moore, let's talk about it. Kenya Moore went from, okay, let's start over. First of all, Kenya Moore got in some trouble over there at Real Housewives of Atlanta, okay? She had a grand opening, and while at that grand opening, there were images that were posted, okay, for public view, all right? Now, it's being alleged that those images can be found online. So, it was already available to the public. So, her bringing it to a smaller public, you know, that then would have been to a wider public had it been on TV. You know what I'm saying? They feel like it wasn't that big of a deal, whatever. So, my biggest issue with Kenya, I don't know what was really shown because people are saying that it was RP. I don't know what it was, but at the end of the day, what we do know for sure that it was some type of sexually explicit image, okay? My biggest issue is the fact that it was done at her event while the cameras were there. It's like, make your event about you. If you feel like you're already having issues with people coming into your salon, spending money, people are putting out negative reviews and doing things like that, in my personal opinion, I do feel like Kenya misjudged this. I don't think she really looked at it right. I'm all here for the get back. I feel like whatever Kenya was doing was definitely a response to what was done to her, in my opinion. But I don't think you thought this one all the way through. Because I just feel like that event should have been about you. If you're already struggling to get people in the doors, I don't think that you should have used this opportunity for that. Because a lot of people were going to find this to be distasteful, and then there were going to be some that's going to support you regardless. It doesn't matter. Right. But I just think it was a misstep. You didn't read that accordingly. And I understand why you may felt comfortable in doing it, even if it wasn't RP and it just was, you know, whatever. It was just a sexual image, like whatever it was, even if it was just a smile with the face and a little, you know, clip art of a dick next to it or whatever. I think that whatever the image was, I feel like you felt comfortable because I feel like Bravo has allowed such of a space for a very long time. They have allowed a space for people to come on and do this type of things, act erratic or do whatever, right? But now they're seeing that what the people have to say is very important because it really drives how advertisers and people move. Considering the fact that they are dealing with these lawsuits, now things have shifted. If we weren't in that time where they had these lawsuits and people weren't so vocal about certain stuff, well, I can't even say that because Gizelle can do stuff over there. Other people can do stuff on other shows where folks are vocal about, and they'll just keep it pushing. But I feel like if they didn't have some of these lawsuits, they probably would have just let it ride. Either that or, girl, they probably was tired of you. Okay? They probably was just like, we done. I don't know. It's been so many different stories that's been happening online. And before I actually get into what her post is, I wanted to check out something else. Let me see. Because ET was reporting a different story. And let me see. E.T. was trying to say something different, and I'm hoping that we'll get that. Because I think they were trying to say that she didn't necessarily... Let me see. Okay, I'm not sure if this one is it. But E.T. was giving us a different story than what a lot of people were saying. They were trying to say that she was never fired and that they just made, you know, a decision together to leave is what was being said. They made it, you know, they both agreed for her to just walk away from the show. But then Love B. Scott and them came on and they said something different. I'm just like, what the hell going on? Did Love B. Scott and Ken don't fall all the way out? Because, honey, what? Okay, so anywho, let's get back to this post real quick, all right? So what they're saying here is that, okay, Kenya says, thank you for all the support, hashtag Team Twirl. My heart is full and my conscience is clear. So many false claims hiding behind anonymous sources. All this conversation and no facts being reported. If a claim or source was valid, would they need to hide? My life is blessed. My daughter and I will continue to thrive in a non-toxic environment where we feel appreciated and, most importantly, protected. Thank you, God, for covering us. She says the rumors and narrative about me randomly showing news or RP is 1000% untrue. I have proof and I will share soon. Okay, so when she says she'll share soon, I think Kenya gonna come down to the YouTube. I think Kenya gonna come down to the YouTube, make a coin off of whatever she share. And I don't know if she may even start discussing the show and make her extra money up off of the show by her giving her opinion on it down to the YouTube. But I feel like that's probably what she gonna do. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. Now, I believe it was this article here where they said that she was not returning. A source tells ET that she decided to part ways with the franchise despite previously expressing interest in returning, declaring that she would not be going anywhere and receiving support from her longtime castmate and friends. Okay, Kenya is not returning to RHOA. She decided it was best for herself to leave after she felt the incident was handled and how she was treated. These are the reasons why she was leaving. So they were making it seem as though the investigation had happened. And even with she was cleared in the investigation. But with her being cleared in the investigation, she still didn't like how it was handled. So she decided to leave on her own accord is what is being painted. All right. So I am not necessarily sure. But Love B. Scott is reporting something completely different. Okay. Thank you so much for the super chat, Chocolate Soul. Another CC has said, according to sources, that Bravo was not going to bring Kenya back to Real Housewives of Atlanta until Kandi pulled out, allegedly. Listen, thank you so much for the super chat. And actually, I kind of heard the same thing. I more so heard that they didn't want her. Okay, I heard that they was not interested in bringing her back. Kandi definitely threw a wrench in things, and even when that happened, from what I heard allegedly, they still were assessing things because they only signed on Porsha. They only signed Porsha on in February, and they still didn't sign Kenya on until April or something like that. Later on, like she still didn't get signed on until way after Porsha had already been confirmed. Because Kenya, I think she did an interview in March or sometime. Maybe it could have been in February. She said, "Oh, they're gonna announce the cast soon. They're gonna make the announcement or whatever." And I think she was on Big Tigger show. She was on somebody's radio show, and they kept trying to get her to confirm that she was indeed going to be on, and she wasn't confirming because I do believe that she did not know for sure. So, yeah, I don't think they wanted her, and I feel like they didn't want her primarily because of what was said over there on the Carlos show when she was kind of calling people out because it was already shown that she was feeling unprotected by them last year when she kind of did that interview with Carlos, and then, or whenever the interview happened. So she wasn't like a go-to automatically like, hey, we want you back type thing. Keep in mind, Kandi was taking, Bravo was taking a long time. That I think that they could have been considering doing a whole different revamp anyway. They should have just went with that. But they went, got Porsha, and then shortly after that, they got Kenya, and then they brought in some more girls or whatnot. But they probably wish they would have stuck with their guns to begin with. And I kind of wish they would have too. Just stuck with your guns from the beginning. Let's get into B. Scott because B. Scott, they're reporting that Kenya Moore was suspended, then fired after investigation determined she violated the code of conduct. This article here, and it's funny because I don't see them putting exactly the name. Okay, here we go. So Denver, you messy Denver. Denver Sean, you is messy. Okay, so they came back after, it seems to me, when ET put that report out saying whatever they were saying about the investigation and when it comes to Kenya, she was cleared in the investigation and she didn't like how things played out, so she left. It appears to me, how I'm looking at it, is that B. Scott and the team came back and was like, no, let us clear that up too. So whatever she trying to put out there about she made the decision, no, she didn't. Because the investigation determined that she violated the code of conduct. Well, that is, y'all wrong for that. I thought y'all was cool. So Kenya Moore's time with Real Housewives of Atlanta has come to an end. They said they previously reported that Kenya was fired and the door for her future return was closed. And now we're back to clarify exactly what led to the decision. They said, well, Start with the gun threat allegations. Sources close to the situation tells us that Kenya did raise claims of an alleged gun threat made by Brittany Edie before her hair spa event, but production investigated and they could not substantiate the claims. I appreciate them wording this by saying they couldn't substantiate the claims. It doesn't mean it did not happen. They just don't have enough proof to say that it happened. Right? So I still feel like the possibility is still there that it could have been said. Okay. They said there was no indication of Kenya refusing to film or taking some time off. In fact, their sources say she continued to plan her hair spa event with no added precautions and additional concerns for her safety. Okay, so even if that was said, she seemed to not see it as a threat or be bothered by it because she continued to move forward. Okay, and this was her get back plan. Thank you, Brittany, for the super chat. Bravo hasn't seen it for her since she eloped. Thank you for the super chat, and you probably 1,000% right with that. 1,000% right with that. Okay, and that probably really shook them up when she said what she said over there on that podcast. Let's keep going. They said that part of the planning included blowing up certain compromising photos of Miss Brittany. They said it was clear Kenya went through great lengths to antagonize her. Another source says those photos aren't easily accessible on the internet. Otherwise, they'd be circulating right now. I think that's true. I do think they probably would be circulating. Okay. They said she not only got those photos from somewhere, but also got posters made. That's not something you would do to someone who allegedly threatened you with the item. Okay. I can't say that I don't know about that's not something you would do. You don't know what they would necessarily do. I can't fully agree with that. Now, I'm with you if she continued to plan her event and not feel threatened at all or of some sort or whatever. I'm with you on that part. But, I mean, if you made a threat or what, that don't mean that a person not finna try and expose you. That don't make sense. So whoever gave this source is given a piece of bias. But let's keep going. The sources continues and says everyone, especially production, was shocked that Kenya would do this in front of a room full of people. And can y'all add at her event? Okay. That was the thing for me. Do that at other folks. Go to her event and do that. Like you did with Marlo when you Kenya more hair care. Go to her event and do that. They said it's no secret that Bravo, NBC Universal has been under fire in recent months, facing allegations of allowing misconduct. After Kenya's stunt, she's suspended from further filming while production determined whether or not her actions were in violation of the contract. Okay, now let's stop right here. It's no secret that Bravo, NBC Universal has been under fire in recent months, facing allegations of allowing misconduct. Let me tell y'all something. Since y'all are so pressed about being under fire regarding misconduct, y'all better run as much of a clean slate as possible for the next few shows that y'all do. There should be nothing explicit shown, talked about, none of that. I don't want to see nobody hunching and hearing no damn sounds because they may feel exploited. I don't want to hear or see none of that. Since y'all are so up in arms about this, just make sure that when it comes to things like this, y'all make sure it never happens again, or y'all gonna be called hypocritical and the people gonna be on your ass yet again. Okay. They said, as it turns out, they said Kenya's actions violated their code of conduct clause and ultimately decided that she will not be coming back. Bravo never accused Kenya of RP. That was never what the investigation was about. It was about determining if Kenya's actions involving sexually explicit images violated the code of conduct, and they did. She can point fingers all she want, but she has nobody to blame but herself. Baby, this is somebody straight from production. They said, while outside sources say Kenya is considering legal actions, we're told neither production nor the network are concerned because no one decided to show those images but her. Okay, production is now trying to figure out where to go and whether or not Kenya's previously filmed scenes will be included in the season at all. I think they should be. I feel like they're not. No, I don't think Bravo's going to show the images or anything. You know, whenever a fight happens and the screen goes black and this and that, and they only flash to reactions, I feel like they could do that. not showing the screen, flashing to reactions or whatever, and then maybe put a statement out and saying Kenya chose to exit the show. However y'all want to clean it up or whatever. And y'all could have had that one wrap-up scene right afterwards to where maybe Kenya and Porsha had to sit down and Kenya said she's going to take a break. And y'all could phase out like that. You know, that's what I think y'all probably could have did in that moment. I don't think that, I don't know. I'm not going to say I don't think. I don't know if Brittany would have still had a suit or something that she could hold against y'all. Because it's not like y'all would have showed the images. You would have only showed the reactions to what Miss Kenya was saying. And then the way y'all edit, y'all didn't even have to show the part where she says, I think it was Jeezy said, Snapchat me that pussy. And you did. Y'all could finesse that whole editing scene. Y'all finesse all the other editing scenes, especially the way y'all love to shoot the damn reunion for 12 hours and then chop the fuck out of it to bring us 4-hour reunion. So y'all could have chopped the hell out of that scene. So I feel like there's a way around it and get that lady her coinage for what she has filmed up until this point and then move on. All right. They're saying they're told that Kenya's episodes leading up to the event could still air. They say there's a lot of chatter around whether or not Kenya's been actually fired. And she has, is what they're saying on Love B. Scott. Her time with the network is done and the decision was made for her. Okay. So they just want to make that clear. This is really messy. This is really, I don't know if they already had a falling out or what happened, but I thought they was really close. Okay, so I guess not, child. You could be friends with the folks and then they'll play you out later. Yikes. Either way, honey. Good luck. It is what it is. Let's get into real quick what Miss Kandi has to say about this. And then we'll call it a day, all right? Kandi went over to her Amazon Live and she shared her thoughts about the Kenya situation.
You guys already know I was gone top of the year. And I had made that decision for myself. But unfortunately, my girl Kenya, you know, she was a part of this season. And then there was an incident that happened. I wasn't there. I can't give you a details of what happened. But it makes me sad. You know, I'm not lying about how I feel because she is my friend. I do love her. I do not know the other young lady, so, you know, it's not a diss to her. It's just simply, I just feel like Kenya, I know she goes far sometimes, right? And I get it. But I have never known her to make up anything about anybody. And if things are out there about you, when you join on a reality show, unfortunately, people are able to pull up things that you've done and share them. And not to say that it's always a nice thing to do or that it's a cool thing to do, but it happens. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of hate how, because of the situation, you know, she had, you know, they decided to part ways or whatever. And I just felt like, well, dang, like, it wasn't nothing else we could do. We couldn't have just said, okay, because I just feel like Kenya is a major part of the show. And I feel like this is the end of an era. I don't care who disagrees. I feel like it's the end of the era. It doesn't matter if you didn't like her or whatever. You always going to need somebody who doesn't mind being real and keeping it 100 on camera, pushing the story, meaning, like, bringing up things that other people be trying to avoid the topic, mm-hmm. you know, and you got to have that person or else everybody's just going to be talking about only what they think is cool for them. They're not going to necessarily take on the hard conversations on the show. And so I think she's one of those people who made sure that people spoke about what they had to speak about. And so now that she's gone, I just want to see how that's going to work. I don't know.
All right, so y'all just heard some of what Kandi said. She also goes on to share more of her thoughts on this. So let's get into this quick clip as well, okay?
And a lot of people were like, how did you support that? And I'm like, okay, at the end of the day, she didn't make up anything about somebody. She pulled some unfavorable receipts off a line, which may not have been the nicest thing to do. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it was the nicest, comeback at someone. But, when the ladies on our shows and on different shows on reality TV, when you say something to someone or you make a threat or you come at somebody in a negative way, you do not get to determine how strong the shade or whatever it is that's coming back at you. So that is my thing. Like, being on the show for so long now, I've become, so numb to some of this stuff that, like, people are like, that was so low. And I'm like, really? But we've seen Kenya walk into somebody else's event with a whole band before. Like, we've seen her walk into a nice event with butt pads on.
All right, y'all. So this is what Miss Kandi is having to say, okay? She said Miss Kenya did not lie. I don't think Kenya lied. I don't think Kenya lied at all. I believe whatever Kenya said happened definitely happened when it comes to Brittany. Okay, I do believe that. But unfortunately, that's not the conversation. It's not really about whether or not she lied about anything. It was really about whether she should have done what it was that she did. And, yeah, that's all that it's about. Whether she should have did this shit. And we've given her passes for a lot of stuff. And, I think everybody has their day. Well, not everybody has their day. Most people do. And this just ended up not going in her favor. It was just something that Bravo was not able to come back from, and therefore they were not willing to bring her back. I wonder, and I'm sure Kandi probably feels like, I wish I wouldn't even talk about it, because now when I do these interviews, they're going to keep asking me about it. I'm tired of having to repeat myself and tell y'all, what my thoughts are about this or whatever like that. I know she wants to be here to support Kenya, and she wants to give Kenya as much public support as possible, considering the fact that, B. Scott and them on her ass. Okay, Days on her ass, and other folks is on that ass as well. So I definitely understand Miss Kandi wanting to give her friend as much support as possible for this, but unfortunately, it is what it is. Like, she may not have, done anything with RP, as Kenya has said. She hasn't. But whatever it was, she said she didn't show news. It wasn't RP, is what she's saying. She gonna show the receipt soon. But whatever it was, I'm thinking it was explicit. And they couldn't handle it. And it wasn't the right thing to do. Not at that time, child. Now, I feel like if she probably would have been on her phone, told the girls about it, and probably showed the picture or something like that, I feel like they probably would have been, I guess, better versus putting a poster up and showing it to everybody. I don't know. But I get Kandi trying to support Kenya in this moment. She wants to support her good girl, but at the end of the day, it's a sad situation, and this is where we are right now. Hopefully she'll be able to make a return. I think that she would give it some time, maybe a few years. I don't know. She may not ever want to return. But I feel like if she were to take the legal action and go that route, I don't think they'll ever have her back again. So, and I don't even know if you will win it. So you might be wasting money trying to fight it legally and not be able to win it. I would probably just take my L. Whether you feel like it's an L or not, you're still not a part of the season, so that is a sort of an L, and just sit in it. See, it is what it is. I may have made a misstep this time, and hopefully I can return next year and go from there. But y'all let me know what y'all think about the situation. All right. Thank you so much, Janie, for the super chat video. You just sent a super sticker. Okay. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I do appreciate it. Thank you. So yeah, y'all, that's pretty much it. I think that's all that I have for you guys today. Yeah, let me know your thoughts about everything down below and how you feel about this Kenya situation. Do you think that Bravo, was wrong? Should they never have fired her? Okay, or suspended her or whatever. Let me know if you feel like Kenya was wrong in this situation. And also let me know where you stand with Brittany. More importantly, are you going to enter the season on some, I'm not going to hold anything against Brittany and what happened, or I'm not fucking with that girl. Okay, she ain't even want to be here anyway. So let me know y'all thoughts about it and where you stand, because a lot of people are saying they're not even gonna be watching the next season. So I don't know. Let me know. That's all that I have. I am Jami. That's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Jami. That's me. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
My city and cul-de-sac. Coming, I swinging like soldier rags. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they died of me. All of a sudden, they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but you run no corner. Packing the stick with a drum.